Welcome and welcome back to our Kids Books Read Aloud channel, Storytime with Little Book Nook. Do you know what is philanthropy? Did you know that you can change someone's world simply by following PhilAnThropy Club's motto? Today we will read aloud The Adventures of PhilAnThropy, written by Linda Wise McNay, Martin and Ailena Parramore. Recorded with permission from our fundraising search publisher. Please take a moment to check out their website and their services. Link below in the description. Phil! Annabelle! Wait up! Yells Thropy, skating to his friends as they headed to the pool. How many times do I have to tell you? I'm just Anne! Steams Annabelle. Thropy grins. He knew that would get a reaction. Yeah, whatever. Listen, I thought we should nail down what we're going to call ourselves. I'm between the terrific trio or the triple threat. Now that we're famous, people are going to have all kinds of questions. Thropy, Phil signs. We've been over this. We don't need a name. We are not famous. We are not even out of third grade yet. Well, if what we did doesn't make you famous, what does? Thropy questions. Anne pipes up. Statistically speaking, your chance of being famous depends on a number of factors. Your chance of becoming a movie star is 1 in 1.5 million. Becoming president is a whopping 10 million to 1. I estimate your chances of becoming famous to be... All right, Thropy explained. Good grief. You seriously have all that in your head? Okay, so we're not famous, but we did change the world a little bit. Phil's eyes light up. I have an idea. What if we write down what happened and share it? I'm not sure about changing the world, Thropy, but maybe others would see that you don't have to be an adult or famous to make a difference. Anne, smiling in agreement, pulls out a massive notebook from her backpack and says, "Where should we start?" One steamy day over spring break, friends Phil, Anne, and Thropy set up a lemonade stand to make a little money. Phil had been drooling over a waterproof camera for those once-in-a-lifetime shots. Anne wanted a microscope with an unpronounceable name to add to her impressive home research lab. And Thropy had his eye on the sweetest new skateboard down at the skate shop. After a couple of hours, a boy about their same age wheeled up with his dad. 2 fresh squeezed lemonades coming right up. And by the way, I'm Phil. This is Anne, and that's Thropy. I don't think we've seen you around. Do you live in the neighborhood? Nice to meet you. I'm Ian, and yes, I do live in the neighborhood, replied Ian. The friends thought it strange they had never seen Ian before. They practically lived at the neighborhood pool in the summers. But there he was. Ian and his dad hung out for a while. The friends agreed that Ian was awesome. Not only was he super smart, but he was also a sports fanatic. Whoa, you know as much about surfing and boarding as Thropy does, Phil announced as Ian was leaving. After Ian left, the friends asked Phil's mom why they hadn't met Ian before. That's unacceptable, Anne declared after learning that their neighborhood pool wasn't accessible for Ian. If one of our neighbors loves to swim, he shouldn't have to be driven to another pool. We should have the lift he needs to get from his wheelchair into the water. Disgusted, Thropy chimed in. You mean to tell me that all these years we could have been playing Marco Polo with Ian, but missed out because there isn't enough money to buy the lift? We have to do something. Yeah, but what? We're just kids, Phil questioned. And then it hit them.
The camera, microscope, and skateboard they wanted could wait. This was important. Anne, counting the money from the lemonade stand, said, "Okay, today we made $56. Combined with my and Phil's allowances and Thropy's birthday money he hasn't already spent, we have a grand total of $181. We're going to get Ian that chairlift," the friends cheered. Unfortunately, it wasn't going to be that easy. After considerable research, Anne and her mom realized that the type of lift Ian needed would cost $1,500. "At this rate, we'll all be in college before we have enough," whined Anne.
"We are not giving up that easily," Phil encouraged. "If we think this is important, maybe others will too."
So Phil, Anne, and Thropy devised a plan to raise the rest of the money. Their mothers helped them make flyers advertising that they would work for donations. They emailed the flyer to everyone in the neighborhood, and before they knew it, they were mowing lawns, raking leaves, and walking dogs. Phil's next-door neighbor, Mr. Carlton, asked him to help repair the fence around his yard. Mrs. Harper had Anne help bake dozens of cookies for a party. "How did I get stuck bathing Mrs. Harper's cats?" Thropy moaned. "I'll have scratch marks for the rest of my life." Then something amazing happened. "You won't believe this!" Anne exclaimed, running into the clubhouse. "Ella, the girl who lives next door, just stopped by and gave us money from her babysitting jobs. She said she heard what we were doing and thought it was awesome. She'll give us all her babysitting money until we reach our goal."
"She's not the only one," Thropy added. "You know Taylor, that older kid with a sweet backflip off the diving board? He asked people to donate money to our cause instead of buying gifts for his birthday. And my sister even donated her tutoring money. And she's stingy."
After just a couple of weeks, all the kids that had helped crammed into Phil, Anne, and Thropy's hideout as Anne counted all the money collected. "The grand total is $1,156.43.
"That's still a long way from the $1,500 we need," Phil said. $343.57 to be exact. Any ideas?"
After a few seconds, Anne stood up. "What about a bike rally?" she asked. "We could ask our family and friends to donate money for every lap around the pool we ride." After very little discussion, everyone agreed. With the help of her parents, Anne got permission for the bike event, then handed out tasks to her friends.
"I knew she was great at science," Thropy huffed, out of breath from walking the entire neighborhood passing out flyers. "But who knew she was so good at being in charge?"
By the end of the week, Anne and the friends had marked the route with cones, set up a drink station, made signs to cheer the riders on, and even had music. Now all they needed were kids to join them. And boy, did they. The morning of the rally, Ian was sitting at the starting line with a gigantic grin. "Wow, I didn't think I've ever seen so many bikes in one place."
"It was all Anne's idea," Phil said, tying off the last of the balloons at the starting line. "We just did what she told us to," Thropy grinned, poking Anne in the ribs.
"It was a team effort," Anne said, smiling. "I may have had the idea, but it took all of us to pull it off."
With dozens of kids at the starting line, Anne's dad announced that he would match dollar for dollar whatever was raised that day.
That meant that the total amount of donations raised from the bike rally would be doubled. Amidst cheers, he then yelled, "Ready, set, go!" And they all took off. A big sign displayed how much they made. After each lap, the crowd cheered louder as the total grew higher and higher. Neighbors that didn't even know what was going on stopped by. A few even donated too. Everyone was in a great mood, but no one was happier than Ian. At the end of the day, they'd done it. Not only did the friends raise the money, but with the match Anne's dad gave, they went over their goal by enough to cover the expenses and help with any future repairs. The lift was installed just in time for the start of summer break. And Thropy finally got to play Marco Polo with Ian. That summer, the kids from the neighborhood kept showing up at the Friends Clubhouse, sharing stories about others that could use their help. "We can't stop now," one girl said. "Look what we were able to do for Ian." "We should form a club," Thropy exclaimed. "I've been working on some names, but I don't think the terrific trio works for a group this large." Everyone fell silent as Anne stood up and cleared her throat. "There's only one name that makes sense. The PhilAnThropy Club. We will do what we can with what we have to help others." After unanimous vote, Anne was declared the club's president. She wasted no time plotting their next adventure in philanthropy. Sitting on the sidewalk, Anne closes her notebook. "It's perfect," Phil declares. "You really think people will read our story?" Anne asks. "They'll read it, and maybe it will inspire them to start their own PhilAnThropy Club," Phil responds confidently. "You know, I always wanted to do something important, but I'm just a kid. Well, now I know that I can make a huge impact when combined with others." "So we aren't famous," Thropy pipes in. "And maybe we didn't change the whole world, but we did change Ian's world, and that's pretty cool too."